Hi guys, this is Mohammed Sharif again from Geeky Lizard, and next to me here is the head of the Wizards of the Gulf Coast community, the biggest Magic the Gathering community in the Middle East, also known as the most active geek community in the entire Middle East.
It's good to be back again, Omar. So I'm Nadim. I'm the organizer of Wizards of the Gulf Coast and community and all of its events. Today we're going to be looking at the, basically the structure of Magic the Gathering and the special features of it. So what we're going to be talking about today are the colors of Magic. So Magic the Gathering, as a trading card game, has its whole different mechanics, how it plays, and there's all its rules. But ultimately it boils down to colors. So Omar, take us through.
Alright, so like I said, there's 5 colors, so you choose your faction, and actually people are judged by their personalities, how they play those colors. And you have to actually do a test on the main website on wizards.com to see what color suits you. So we're going to start with the first color, which is actually my least favorite color. And it's known as the weenie color, so it's white, and you basically draw your mana from planes, and you keep throwing this little Hobbit kind of characters, so paladins and knights and stuff like that, and then you have like an angel attacking you, saying, "Oh, you're not good enough for this game." I'm like, no.
Yeah, so basically, white's the color of. Okay, I'm gonna do this in the more serious way.
Honor.
It's the color of armies. So it's all about knights, soldiers. It's very human based. That's what you tend to get. And it's all about massing together and having lots of little creatures and taking over your opponent. The iconic creature for white is, as Omar mentioned, that's
Johnny.
That's one of the characters. But the iconic creature for white is the angel. So as you go up, as the creatures get bigger, you get these big sort of beautiful angels that are basically got amazing abilities and such. So white in a nutshell. Now, the next one we've got is blue. My favorite color. I'm going to introduce this one, and then he can talk about it afterwards. So blue is the color of mischief, deviousness. It's also the color of counter magic, and it's all about messing with someone's mind. So it's all about mental manipulation. It's a color that has a lot of flyers, so you'll have flying creatures like birds and all sorts of things, but ultimately it's the color of wizardry. It's a color that has a lot of spells. And when it comes to the creatures, you start off with your wizards. Magic has what are called merfolk, which are kind of your mermaids. Mermaids of it. And it has a bunch of other things. Now, blue mages get their mana for casting their spells from islands. So, blue, islands, think water. When you get to the bigger iconic creatures, we got your sphinxes.
And leviathans.
And you've got big leviathans.
So you like krakens? Release the krakens right over there.
Yeah, so that's where you get to. You get big sea serpents and sea monsters and stuff in blue. But ultimately, like I mentioned, color of mischief.
So let me say my format. Like he said, it's the color of mischief, so blue, so it's all about mind manipulation. So white has its own form of, like, discipline of mini creatures that become bigger, while blue has, I will not let you play spells. So imagine if someone's throwing a fireball at you and you just say no, it's gone. If you're going to summon a dragon, it says, no, I will not allow this dragon to exist. It goes to the dead pile.
I get to basically tell people that I don't like what they're doing. Yeah. And just say no. So, next up, you can just do this one.
This is my favorite color. And it's the color of, I will break my own leg so I can destroy you and your family. It's the color of black. It's true.
Yeah. So, black is...
ambition.
Yeah. Power at any cost.
And it's by I refer to her as my wife, which is Liliana Vess. All right, that's why I'm still single, ladies. So, and if you look like Liliana Vess, you're more than welcome to drop me an email. I would be glad to marry you. So, anyways, so basically, black has all the zombies, has all the demons, and a lot of different vampires and rats.
Yeah. So you basically your little creatures in black are your zombies, your vampires. It's got your ghouls, and it's got a bunch of different things like that. If you've got wizards or such in there, they're mostly like necromancers. So you've got a lot of necromancers. It's all about interacting with and raising things from the dead. And like we said, power at any cost. Most of black's abilities are all about, I'm going to do something to you, or I'm going to do something that's beneficial to me, but at the same time, I'm going to take some pain.
So it kind of has like a similarity to other colors. Like, for example, it'll let you gain more intelligence by drawing cards like blue, but you're going to lose life for it.
Yeah. So it does have that kind of punishment thing, but ultimately black doesn't care because you just want to get through and you want to win, like we said, at any cost.
So I kill my creature, you kill all your creatures. So that's kind of the concept.
Yeah. The iconic creature of black is your demon, so expect these big flying monstrosities.
Which you have to keep feeding.
Yes, you have to keep feeding. Most of the time, most demons will say, excuse me, but you need to sacrifice.
So whoever tells you magic is not flavorful, they're very mistaken.
Yeah. Next up is, for want of a better word, the power of passion. Red is really all about emotional response.
In your face, literally. It's like, I will not sit down and cry in a corner, I will wield an axe to your face.
Yeah, so red's very aggressive. As a color, they get their mana from mountains, so it's a lot about fire. Red has what we like to call burn spells, so it's all about your fireballs, your firebolts, or whatever, in any form of that version, basically raining fire on your enemy or some kind of spell. The creatures in red are... What are you laughing at?
They're the funniest.
They are the funniest. So the creatures in red, you've got your shamans and you've got your...
But let me say one thing. Red is the randomest color.
Yes.
There is no way in hell red will let you draw cards without a backwards effect or a search, like to search through your library, search for something. It's always random. So the creatures are just as random.
Yeah, so yeah, talking about the random nature of red, it goes back to the passion and the... How should we say? There's the split-second emotional response when it comes to red. Now,
impulsive.
Yeah, impulsive, exactly. So it's act first, think later.
Yep.
As opposed to, you know, with the other colors we're talking about. So, red tends to have very quick creatures. So creatures that come in and attack the first turn they come into play.
Usually goblins.
Yeah, so as far as the tribes...
Goblins are the weenies. Goblins are the weenies.
Yeah, so you've got goblins, you've got orcs in history, but generally speaking, red is all about warriors, berserkers, that kind of creature type. And then, once you get bigger creatures, you get
dragons.
The dragons.
The dragons.
So no fantasy game would be, you know, complete without having dragons, and Magic's dragons are very iconic, with dragons appearing in the first set all the way back to the beginning. And they're still a very popular tribe of creatures, and every set almost has a dragon in it. You cannot complain. They're always good, they're always fun, and, well, they're dragons.
The last set.
So it leaves us to the last color, but it doesn't explain everything, but there is still another one that we'll talk about very briefly. But the last color of Magic is green. And as you would expect, when you talk green, you're talking...
elves.
And nature.
And nature.
So
hippie style.
Hippie style, exactly. So you've got your elves, you've got your druids, you've got... I am one with nature. Green hates technology, and it is all about big creatures. So you start with your little elves.
So you got these little elves that actually produce more energy, or if you say, for example, the first elves will produce more energy for your next turn.
Yeah, so essentially what will happen is green has a snowballing effect where the more creatures you play and the types of spells it has aren't about taking out your creatures. So whereas red had burn and black can destroy things and white can, you know, has these armies and stuff, green is all about, you know what, I'm not going to faff about. If I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do it with my creatures. So here's a bit of small ones, and all of a sudden I can get quicker, big ones, and green has access to quicker mana than any of the other colors. So when you get to the big creatures in green, you get these big, for want of a better word, they're called worms, but they're essentially flightless dragons. You're talking about big, huge things, kind of like in in June.
Imagine it like this. Imagine a bunch of green hobbits holding hands, or elves, and then they chant, and they produce more mana. And then with all this energy, you find a tree folk, or one of the big, intense?
Yeah, so Magic has tree folk, which are more like your stereotypical Lord of the Rings...
big giant trees.
Yeah. It's got big beasts, and the beasts are, to be honest with you, they're like dinosaur-style beasts.
Pretty much.
You're talking big, you know, rhinoceros that, you know, something that's about 3 or 4 times the size of a rhinoceros.
Aside the fantasy and all the flowers and the hippie things, green actually has a very predatorial feel to it, where you will sacrifice your creature for the greater good to gain more life or to draw more cards.
As in a nutshell, you've got 5 different colors of Magic, each one of which has its own style of play. So when you first start playing, you'll gravitate and find yourself gravitating towards a specific type of color, and that's what it's all about. So when you first start playing, you're going to find out which one really fits you the most. Now there's a sixth, I'm going to call it a non-color, which is what we call artifacts. Artifacts don't have a color. They kind of can be played by any decks. So if you're a white mage, you can still play artifacts. But you'll find that artifacts have very different types of abilities. Think of them as contraptions or machines or a little box of something. But it's a bit more complicated. You'll figure them out when you play with them. But ultimately, we have, and I'm going to read it out straight out of here. White lays down the rule and commands armies to enforce them. Blue, control and manipulate the flow of battle with powerful mind magic. Black.
Black planeswalkers believe no price is too great to seize power and dominate their foes.
Whereas red, channel their fiery impulses to destroy whatever stands in their way. And finally green, embody the law of the jungle. Everything is either predator or prey. Right, this has been a bit of an intro to the colors of Magic. Next time round we'll look more into what that means and how you actually start playing the game. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. And you'll be seeing all the words around the screen, where to go and how to communicate with Wizards of the Gulf Coast. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we look forward to hearing from you, and keep on geeking.
See you guys.
There are different type of games. Some people play with feelings, and some with life. And I choose to play with your brain.